Well, hello and welcome to the Modern Yin Podcast. I'm your host, Kimberley Roberts of SolefulYin, and I am so glad you're here. I want to take a moment to help you understand what this space is all about, especially if you're new here, and how this podcast can support you. This podcast is really geared for busy women, especially over the age of 40, who feel like they're constantly on the go, taking care of everything and everyone, but you know what? Not taking care of themselves. And over time, that can start to look like feeling burnt out, overwhelmed, tense, tired, but wired, or just disconnected. What I share here is a different approach. Instead of pushing harder or doing more, we focus on slowing down, supporting your nervous system, and creating a sense of safety in your body. Because here's the thing, when your body feels safe, everything starts to shift. Your energy improves, your mind becomes clear, your body softens, and you begin to feel more like yourself again. Inside this podcast, you'll find simple practices using Yin Yoga, acupressure, reflexology, breathwork, mindfulness. These are all designed to fit into what I call real life, even when you only have a couple of minutes. And if you're looking for more support, you can come and join me inside my Patreon. That's where I share full Yin Yoga classes, guided practices for emotional support, nervous system resets, and even nourishing recipes to support your overall well-being. It's really a space where you can go deeper at your own pace and in a way that feels supportive, not overwhelming. So whether you're listening while walking, resting, or just taking a moment for yourself, I'm so glad you're here because you've landed in the right place. Take a deep breath, let those shoulders soften, and let's begin. Emotional resilience isn't what you think it is. That's what we're talking about today, and I actually really love this topic because there's so much misconception around resilience, especially emotional resilience, and this isn't something that we were taught in school. It wasn't mainstream conversation, especially back when I was a kid, right? And at least now things are starting to move into a direction where people are opening up more about emotional and mental health, but there's still a lot around the word resilience, and that's what I want to talk about today. So when you hear the word resilience, what comes to your mind? Like, what's the first thing that drops in your mind? For many people, and myself included for a long time, I thought it was, well, you got to be strong, got to push through, you got to handle whatever life throws at you. Don't fall apart, keep going. But here's the thing, over the years, I've come to realize and see that resilience is very different. I see it from a very different lens. Because some of the strongest women I know are also some of the most exhausted women. And I know that, put myself in that category for a really long time. And these women, myself included, have spent decades holding their shit together, holding everything together, right? Pushing through, carrying everyone else's needs before their own. And eventually, their nervous system begins to pay the price. And let me tell you, it's a high price. So today I want to talk about emotional resilience from a different perspective. Not as toughness, not as endurance, but as regulation. Because true resilience isn't about never getting knocked down. Like, come on, like life is gonna life you, right? But it's about how can you support yourself when life does get hard, when the shit hits the fan, when the challenges get thrown at you. It's like, how do you handle that? Do you have the resilience then? Have you got the staying power? So what emotional resilience really is? Emotional resilience isn't the absence of difficult emotions. Like, we're human beings. We're not bots. Like, we're meant to have feelings. We're meant to experience all the emotions. It's the ability to be able to move through your emotions, to experience like disappointment and sadness without staying stuck there, to experience stress and anxiety without being consumed by it, to experience uncertainty and fear and worry without completely losing your shit. Resilience is flexibility, and it's not perfection. It's the ability to bend without breaking. Why high-functioning women get this so wrong? Because many women were taught that resilience means handling everything alone. Gotta be the strong one. Gotta be the dependable one. Gotta be the capable one. You gotta be the one that everyone needs, that everyone will fall back on. And let me tell you, while those qualities are really beautiful, they're exhausting as fuck. Because eventually resilience becomes confused with self-sacrifice. And women stop asking, well, what do I need? And they start asking, what does everybody else need from me? And you know what? The nervous system can only sustain that kind of shit for so long. And most women sustain that kind of crap for decades. But I'm telling you, when you hit 40, it's almost as if there's a light bulb switch that goes on over your head and you're finally like, you know what? I'm really done with this. Now, this is where things get really interesting, because emotional resilience lives in the nervous system. It's not just psychological. It's physiological. Well, think about this. When your nervous system is regulated, you have more capacity, you have more perspective, more flexibility, more emotional bandwidth. When shit hits the fan, you're like, okay, I can handle this. I may not be happy about it, but I can handle it. But when your nervous system is depleted, everything feels harder. Even the smallest challenge is like, oh my God, this is so overwhelming. I'll tell you one day. This is funny and this is embarrassing at the same time. So I was having a really rough day. This was a couple of weeks ago. And there was a lot of fear. There was a lot of anxiety. There was a lot of, what if this doesn't go right? What if this doesn't go right? Blah, 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 blah. And I was washing my duvet cover. I have a king size duvet and duvet cover. Now the duvet itself has the little sections in the corners, and my duvet cover has like the little ties, right, that you tie to each section, so that when you put it all together and you put your duvet and duvet cover back on your bed, the duvet doesn't slide all over the place and, you know, it stays all uniform. Well, for the life of me, I got it all tied up in each corner, but then I couldn't figure out how to flip it so that the duvet cover was showing and the duvet itself was on the inside. 3 hours. I kid you not. And I'm sure some of you are sitting there going, oh my God, are you a moron? Well, that day, I guess I was, because it took me 3 hours to get it done. I was using ChatGPT, I was using Alexa, I was using Google. I was like, help me please. And I was just so exhausted that day from so many fear-based thoughts that were consuming me, that small little challenge completely overwhelmed and consumed me. 3 hours, people, 3 hours. I admit this. But the point is that when we're in that kind of state, when the nervous system is so depleted, your emotions feel bigger than they are. The recovery takes longer. And in that case, what happened with me on that day, I finally, after I got it all done, I went straight to my yoga mat and I spent an hour doing yin and breath work and meditation. And then I felt so much better. Like I literally felt like a brand new human. And the rest of my day flowed with ease. This is why nervous system regulation matters so much. Because when the nervous system is depleted and your emotions feel bigger, your recovery takes longer. When you are consistently regulating your nervous system, it increases your capacity to navigate life. This thing called life. And it's not by avoiding stress or fear or anxiety or worry or whatever, but it's by helping us recover from it and to move through it. So here's the difference between coping and resilience, because a lot of people still get this kind of mixed up. So many of us are really good, and I mean excellent at coping. We get like 10 stars out of 10 stars for coping. We distract, we stay busy, we overwork, we overfunction, we keep moving. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes those strategies help in the short term. Okay? And I'm talking about short term. But resilience is different. Resilience creates recovery. Resilience allows space. Resilience helps the body process experiences instead of just carrying them around like a bunch of clothing in a suitcase. And your body was never meant to be a suitcase where you permanently keep stuff in it. This is why practices like Yin Yoga become so powerful, because they create room for integration, not just survival. We're not here to survive. We are here to thrive. And so why does yoga, or specifically Yin Yoga, build emotional resilience? Because it teaches us to stay present in the moment. Not just when things feel good, like, oh man, supported fish, I could be here for an hour, this is great. Oh, dragon pose, this is uncomfortable, get me out. But no. We learn to breathe, to soften, to observe, to stay within, to stay with ourselves. And over time, that starts to create a different relationship with discomfort. We stop fearing every difficult emotion. Because here's the thing, when you understand that emotions are meant to move through you, then you can stop being afraid of being afraid, or being worried, or being sad, or being angry. We get to learn that we can feel something deeply, because again, we're human, we're not bots. We can feel and we can still be okay. There is no person on this planet who has gone a day without feeling emotions of some kind at some point, and eventually they left, right? like you grieve the loss of a loved one, you don't spend your entire existence on this planet grieving that person every single day. You have moments up and down, up and down. And eventually the emotion moves through you. That's resilience. Not by avoiding emotions, not by suppressing them, but moving through them. Emotions. Energy in motion. That's what emotions are meant to do. They're meant to move through us. Now, how about we create a new definition of resilience? What if resilience wasn't about being tougher? What if resilience was about being more supported, more regulated, more connected to yourself, more willing to rest when needed, more willing to receive support? Because the goal isn't to become unbreakable. The goal is for you to become adaptable, right? Flexibility. And there's tremendous strength in that. It's not weakness, it's strength. This is why Yin Yoga is so important to me, and why this is the type of work that I support inside my Patreon space. Because it's through practices like Yin Yoga, nervous system regulation, nidras, breath work, acupressure, reflexology, guided meditations that help you build emotional resilience from the inside out. Because resilience isn't built through pressure. It's built through support and consistency of practice. And honestly, sometimes the most resilient thing you can do is slow down long enough to listen to what your body is actually needing, because it's always communicating with you. And I'll leave you with this. Life is always going to bring challenges. There will always be uncertainty. Stress will come up, change, loss, growth. The goal isn't to avoid those experiences, because if you try to avoid all of that, then you're not living. Your goal is to build the capacity to move through all of those things, like uncertainty, stress, fear, change, loss, growth. The goal: more regulation, more compassion, more support. That's emotional resilience. And that is where healing begins. That is modern yin. And that is where stillness does the real work. Resilience isn't about how much you can carry. It's about how well you can recover. Let that one land. And I'll see you in the next episode of the Modern Yin Podcast. If today's episode supported you in any way, the next best step is to come practice with me. Inside my Patreon, I share simple Yin Yoga, acupressure, reflexology, and nervous system practices designed for busy women who want to feel calm, grounded, and back in their bodies without needing a ton of time. You'll also find full classes, guided practices, and even nourishing recipes to support your well-being. Until next time, take a deep breath, slow things down, and take care of you. and I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks so much for pressing play today.